What's up, guys? This is FishHuntWyo. I'm Dylan. This is John, Hunting Freak. Go follow him on Instagram. Got to show you guys how to color in horns, and we're doing elk antlers today. I'm going to start with that guy as I about take out the table. We got a really big shed here. It's 177 inches. For those of you that don't know anything about score and stuff, this is basically a 395 inch bull if you give him a 45 inch width. So it's a hard white. We're going to color him in, see what he looks like. He's a beautiful bull. He's already got some coloring on the outside, as you saw. He's very white on the inside. So let's get to it. What we're using is we're going to use it's Time's Up Wild Antler Magic. They call it WHAM. They got different coloring agents. Basically, the process is just the same as how they actually naturally get their horn color. An elk antler and deer antlers, their actual color is white, but once they rub their velvet off, they have a red because of the blood, and they rub it on trees, grass, rocks, the dirt, bark, all kinds of stuff. So they get naturally in color. We got black in here and brown, and then we actually have gray for deer if we wanted to do deer. But for elk purposes, let's get to it. We already got a compound mixed together. This is just the brown to start. Actually, we're going to need a little bit more there. Go ahead and pour some there, John. Keep going, keep going, keep going. We're going to probably need a lot.
That's a big horn.
That's good. And then just a little water. I'm just literally mixing it up here. Put some water in there. That. Perfect. And it's basically going to come out to like a little paste, and then we're just going to rub it on the horns. You don't want to rub it on the entire antler though, because like this here is naturally white because the tips are the ivory tips. You want to kind of leave those alone as best as possible, but the main body, you're going to want to just take kind of a handful and start just rubbing it on the actual horn like this.
Great stuff. And you can actually use all the stuff that's fallen down here on the table. So you don't need to worry about it, you know, once it hits the table. Just make sure you clean your table off.
Man, he's like got no bumps, so he's going to be white for a long ways on this. So on these top parts, I'm kind of keeping my hands straight, so that way I'm not getting the actual ivories. And guys, this horn, when it was hard white, weighs almost 16 pounds, just so you guys know. Some of you guys are probably wondering, but it's a giant horn picked up here in Wyoming. The other thing is too, if you guys mess it up while you're in the middle of this whole process, you can literally just take a power washer and this will all just come out. So the end sealer agent, which is going to be this clear shellac, that will seal all the colors in, and then you're done. Like, then there's no more going back. At that point, you kind of created your monster at that point. Pretty much everything else is pretty much good. Yep, that's pretty well. Alright. Looks weird right now. all the hard stuff off real quick. Let this dry for about 10-15 minutes until it looks like it's kind of a chalky color, like just faded. And then you're gonna come in, next step is gonna be with this brush, and we're just gonna start wiping it off. So cut to 10 minutes from now. All right guys, now we're gonna brush off all this extra stuff. You're gonna see it's just gonna come off nice and easy. Just gotta get till all the kind of greens fall off. You don't want to do it too hard because, again, this is your color. But you do want to do it hard enough to where you're getting all this extra dirt just kind of stuck in everything to fall off. We're doing it while it's still a little wet, but it's fine. Let it dry enough to kind of seep into the horn. Doesn't take very long.
Then what I'm mixing here is I'm mixing the red when Dylan's doing this, because we're going to put a little bit of red on here just to act as that, as soon as the velvet comes off, that blood that runs down. We'll apply that here shortly. You don't need a lot of this stuff.
I'm going to do one more thing here too before we do that. Take that, so we need to take the wool brush. Forgot to do that on that last one. Take that wool brush and just kind of lightly go over the horn, just lightly, just kind of touch it, and it'll bring out the ivory tips. And we do that every single time to kind of keep it white and looking really nice. All right, now next step is the red, which John, basically what we did is we took a rag, dipped it in the red, just kind of started smearing it, maybe, just kind of smeared it on the horn here. And this one you don't want to get near as much, you definitely go like this, and then John's going to come in behind me and just kind of do the same process we did with the brown, but just kind of a little lighter. So I'm just going to kind of get enough for this to get it wet and fill in the brown. And then he's going to come in and just kind of rub it in. Alright, there's the red. Gonna let this sit, same thing, 10 minutes. Want to wait for this one to kind of be completely dry though. The other one wasn't as big of a deal because we were still using wet stuff, but this one you want to let it dry completely and then come back, same thing, hit it off, then use that wool brush and we'll go into the black. Alright, now off with the red with the brush. Go like this. John's going to take the wool brush behind me and just kind of, actually, and I rubbed it like actually pretty decently hard. That's what she said. quick. I'll show you something else too when I get this all done with that wire brush. Bring out the ivories a little bit more too. We're gonna need to put a lot of black on the inside of this portion because it's pretty,
It's really white.
yeah. Okay, so do you have that little brush? Jeez, starting to shrink this sucker.
Yeah.
So this kind of really, you can get rid of the,
You have another one of those?
what's up?
You have another one of those brushes somewhere?
Like one of these?
Yeah.
Probably not.
That's alright. So if you need any horns recolored, shoot us a message. Specifically if you live here in Casper, that would be really nice. Then you don't have to ship it.
It would be cool doing that. For
Exclusive offer to Casper people. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll say
sure.
that.
Look up our homies for sure. Or if you live in the Casper area, you want some horns recolored, let us know. Be happy to help you out.
And we drive all over the state for certain stuff
John
that
does
we
that.
do.
He does it to not shoot anything.
So if we happen to like be on a hunt and we're driving through somewhere and you want horns recolored, we might be able to make something happen or something. Or you guys come to Casper when you're driving through, you know.
All right, next step, black. No, that's brown. That's pretty dark, doesn't it?
It does.
I liked how you mixed it a little bit. John kind of mixed it, made it like a little pasty. Yeah, a little bit. Like a little more
Need
wet.
More water.
He made it like more soupy. Still more. Perfect. All right, so take the black. This one we're really gonna lather in here pretty good. You can really do this with your hand if you really want to. I mean, I kind of use the rag in some places where there's bigger bumps, but it doesn't really matter if you don't have to use the rag.
So if you want that really dark timber bowl look, you're gonna want to use a lot of black.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like it's super dark right now, but I promise you it's going to lighten up. Wah! All right, let that sucker sit for another 5-10 minutes, and then we're gonna come back to it, knock it all off, and test the coloring, see how it looks. All right, we got the black put on. Now we're just gonna go with the brush and hit all this stuff off. It turned out pretty dang dark, so I think we're gonna do another coat of brown after this. So, yeah. Actually, that transition was perfect. So I think we're gonna put some brown into it because it's turning out pretty dark, which is good, but it's gonna look too black. So I think we're gonna kind of do a coat over the top, which is gonna be brown. So that's what we're gonna do next. Mix up some brown real quick. Some water in here. I'm gonna put some more brown in here. And then we're just gonna kind of coat it, not nearly as rough, but in the areas that are lighter colored, but darken it up for sure. And then we'll see where we're at for color. Alright, well, I think that's good. We'll let that sucker sit, and then once that's done, dust it off, use the steel wool, and then we should be able to put our clear coat on.